So Isra means the travel from Mecca to Jerusalem. And why Jerusalem is a very interesting thing, because we have to ponder on why Jerusalem. He could have just gone up from Mecca, but no, they took him to Jerusalem. So why is it so? If you look into the Quran about Prophet Isra, he was carrying this basket of fruits and water, and he saw the entire Jerusalem was pulverized. So he asked God, how will God recreate this entire city when it's totally flattened? And God caused him to die for 100 years, and his donkey was with his donkey. So when he was raised up, he saw that his donkey was decomposed in bones. But the fruits and the water did not evaporate, neither the fruit was decomposed. Let's look at another story of Jesus Christ. So Nabi Isa alayhi salam, Jesus Christ, he was taken up from Jerusalem. So something about Jerusalem, there seemed to be an opening of a different dimension down there, where one can slip into the dimension anytime. So when the Prophet was taken to Jerusalem, and then he was raised up through a Meraaj to go into the entire 7 heavens and all these things, and he had this encounter with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he came back. And by the time he came back, the water pitcher we were talking about, he just came back just in time to either hole or it fell and the water just leaked a bit. So that was how short the actual journey was. I mean, erasing out all the other hadiths that was added in, just purely looking from the Quran and taking the subject from hadith, where he was taken from Makkah to Jerusalem for Meraaj, and then he came back. That was in that time zone. So how are we going to understand this? So that is what is this book about. What happened when he was taken in the Meraaj? What happened when he had to use a rafah, another kind of a vehicle to even travel beyond? What happened at the Sidratul Muntaha, that means the Lote Tree of the boundary, the final boundary? And what is this Buraq? What kind of energy is this? Did he really see it as a horse? And if he has seen it as some kind of a pony or horse, what does it really mean? So even in the Buraq there is an appearance and a reality. The appearance is the structure of a horse or something close to that. And the reality is electric current. And then this flows into psychology. What about other previous nations? Have they gone through this journey? Is there any sources that says that this has occurred? And so on will be discussed in this book. Another thing that is presented in this book is, I find that a lot of people nowadays, the meaning of prophet is getting blurred. So they are thinking that if anyone prophesies, they become prophets. Or anyone with a spiritual experience, they are put in par with a prophet. So I want to make it clear that there's a difference between prophets and mystics. And that difference is highlighted in the story of Nabi Musa, where he will face the entire mystics of the Pharaoh. So what happened to Nabi Musa? Nabi Musa was a prophet, and then there's an entire huge army of mystics facing the Pharaoh, who's the superpower of the time, right? So the mystics activated their serpent power. We call it the serpent power, because we know in Egypt everyone was involved in it. It's a mystical religious society. And God came to Moses and activated his serpent power. So in that story it involves that his serpent will annihilate the rest of their serpents. So what does it actually mean? So these are things we are looking into. Finally, what we want to see is what happens when Prophet ﷺ goes on beyond the Lote Tree to meet his Lord. And that is something that we want to also analyze from the Sufic point of view. Explore this book, Isra and Meraaj. It is at kitabstore.com. and thank you for watching.